Well, hello everyone. Marco's back, the new American conservative with more important info not everyone can stomach. 1904 is a very important year. This is where the elites introduced the universal slash general education system. Yes, it started all the way back in 1904. This is where the brainwashing started. You're not supposed to know anything about the monetary system. You're not supposed to know anything about money. You're supposed to know what they designed. It's basically a blueprint for enslavement, financial enslavement. So that's the first year, okay? You can look all this up if you think I'm just coming up with some nonsense to make it interesting or whatever. Now, the next year that's very important is just 9 years after they introduced the general education system, Federal Reserve was born. Imagine that, right? The only product Federal Reserve has is debt. And once you understand the more debt they issue, the stronger they get. Just give you a quick example, like for instance, when you get a credit card, banks look at your score, your credit score, they look at your job, and then you get the amount on your credit card based on all of that. So let's say you had $10,000 on your credit card. That money does not exist, but what exists is interest, especially if you're not paying it off right away. That's how they get rich. Not to go into mortgages and anything, I think you guys get the idea. So we have two important years already, 1904 and then 1913, okay? Now we're gonna move right along. I'm trying to make this very simple so everyday person can understand the scam behind all of this that's about to explode, okay? The next one is 1944, Bretton Woods Agreement. This is very important. I'm actually gonna read something here to you because I'm gonna repeat it because I wanna make sure that it's really easily for everyone to understand, and I want to make sure it's repeated correctly so you don't have to go back into the video and try to understand, because this is a crucial part, okay? Here we go, handwritten, only this note right here. We are looking at the 1944 Bretton Woods Agreement, which was established, again, very important year. I'm going to repeat it. 1944. A new global monetary system. That's what happened. A new global monetary system. It replaced the gold standard with the US dollar as the global currency. By doing so, it established America as the dominant power in the world economy. After the agreement was signed, America was the only country with the ability to print dollars. Okay? With the ability to print dollars. Let's try one more time. The Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944 established a new global monetary system. It replaced the gold standard with the US dollar as the global currency. By doing so, it established America as the dominant power in the world's economy. After the agreement was signed, America was the only country with the ability to print dollars. So hopefully this is where a little bit more clarity comes in, as you know where I'm heading with this, what's going on right now with the money printing. And now we have another year that's very important here. So we're going to jump into 1971, where the Tricky Dick Nixon, that was his nickname, decided to take the US off the gold standard, which means now the money, that the US currency, I'm not even going to call it money. I know Mike Maloney would like this one. They decided just to completely sever any kind of ties with the gold. So the dollar was just on its own as the world's reserved currency. Okay? So now the money printing and the control of the Fed Reserve over everyone became, I guess you can just say, they can do whatever They won't. The financial enslavement of the population has begun officially. Okay? So now we're looking at designed economic crashes. Everyone knows every 10 years or so. Again, look this up on your own. You got all these bubbles that pop, and then all of a sudden money gets transferred. It's always the middle class that gets slaughtered. When you see a 401k go from $10,000 to $5,000, the $5,000 that's missing, it did not disappear. It went to those who wrote the rules, those who know when to long and short the market, those who have written the general education system and the Federal Reserve overall. So that's how it's done. So they design these crashes every 10 years or so. We haven't had one in a while now. It's been over 10 years. It's been, I believe, 12, 13 years right now. And right now what is happening with this corona that pricked the bubble already existed. Corona just kind of like expedited the entire process. And now we have money printing to the point that you cannot even believe. And I'm just going to, go real quick in some numbers. Over 100 billion a day is printed as we speak. World War II cost under $300 billion. So just, wrap that around your head for a second. Over $100 billion a day. So if you say, well, whatever, World War II, we're going back in the 40s, what has that got to do with anything? It has to do with everything, because now you're going to also see the value of the dollar, the purchasing power that I've talked about on my previous videos. It's because $300 billion was worth a lot more back in the 40s. So imagine that. So not only that they are printing a lot more right now, the money was worth, and everyone knows that a $100 bill, you could buy a lot more back, 20 years ago, 50 years ago than you can today. That is money devaluation. The more they print, the less purchasing power your hard-earned dollars have. Okay? Now, gold preserves your purchasing power. You might see it fluctuates up and down in the dollar value, but one gold coin, you can go and exchange it, possibly even give it to someone in a fancy suit store. It's not going to be really fancy, but you can buy a nice suit today, I'm pretty sure, around $1,800, $1,750, where gold, 1 ounce of gold is hanging around. You could have done exactly the same thing back in the 70s. You could have bought a very nice suit for 1 gold coin. So that's just another example of how gold preserves wealth versus currency. Gold is money, dollar is currency. Okay? Completely two different things. But you're not supposed to know this. You're supposed to know what they wrote in 1904. Okay? So the more debt is issued, the stronger the bankers, the real invisible enemy, get. Right now, we are in the end stages because of all this debt and everything else that's going on with the social unrest, with Corona. I mean, you cannot add more problems on top of the problems we already have. So you can say, well, they're going to continue on with this for the next 10 years. No, this is it right now. Just like Bretton Woods happened in 1944 with 70-something delegates from all over the world that came together and basically said, here's what we're going to do. They're doing it right now. There's going to be some major change. I don't know what it is, but you got to prepare, okay? Yes, you might say, again, this is what I always hear, well, you can't eat gold or they're going to confiscate gold. No, when they were confiscating gold back in the 30s, they did not come to your door. If that happens, well, then everything is going to go to you know where. I mean, it is what it is. I'd still rather have it. I do, to close down with my video, I don't want to make it too long. I do love cryptos. I just don't know how much the current administration is going to allow certain cryptos, especially Bitcoin, to go up. As they came out and officially said not long ago that they popped the Bitcoin 20K bubble that was like a year ago, I believe. I forget the dates on that. So I can't trust too much in it. I like to trade it, and I do own some, but I'm not against cryptocurrencies at all. I'm actually a big fan of cryptocurrencies. I just prefer physical a lot more than something I just see on the screen. That's just my opinion. You do what you want, but if you don't own physical, you are going to be taken for a long ride, and it's going to be a long nightmare. It won't be fun, okay? You need to listen to me. You need to look up those dates. You need to connect the dots. I try to do my best to put everything together from certain historians, legends like Mike Maloney, but I don't know if you have enough time to go through his 10 videos that take 20-30 minutes, which is, by the way, brilliant stuff, and the way he breaks it down is so simple. But it might take time. I don't know how much time we have. You might have to make a quick move and just understand that this is a scam and it's all happening. And to add one more area here that is a complete disaster, which is the pensions. So this is all right now happening because the pension reforms. A lot of baby boomers are retiring. This is why it's all designed right now in order to basically not pay the baby boomers. This is why my channel, it's not easy to stomach. So all you baby boomers out there, I hope you're listening to, and millennials, snowflakes, QAnon patriots, everyone, they got us from every angle you can imagine, okay? Most pensions will not be available. This is all by design. The house of cards is coming down. Take care, everyone. More on this coming up. More details. I'm going to try to make it short and simple. Take care, and remember, don't let them divide us. America, unite. It's not too late. If we had 20 lives lost, if we had 50 lives lost, that's horrific. But the numbers can get really bad if people stop listening to these bureaucrats, these politicians, politics, like Gerard Celente says, ticks. They're vampires. They suck your blood out. Don't listen to them. Take care, everyone.